You are surrounded by them, and you might not have ever realized it. You are surrounded by variables. Scientists are a little obsessed with variables, and for good reason. They are a foundational piece of research, and we could not conduct science without them. But what are variables? Variables are things that can vary. They are characteristics or things in our world that can change or have variation. They can be as simple as things like age, temperature, or weight, to more abstract things like intelligence, happiness, or even the desire to dance. What is important, though, is that a variable has to have at least two possible values. In designing a research study, we not only need to choose the variables that we want, but we also need to determine how we will measure these variables. As scientists, we have to be specific about the method we used to measure or manipulate a variable. This method is called an operational definition. Essentially, we are defining how we will take something in our world and turn it into a measurable thing. It is important that we define how we measure a variable, because in many cases, there might be more than one way to measure something. Say we wanted to measure the variable bowling skills. There is not only one way we could potentially measure a bowler's skills. We could look at their last 20 games and determine their average score, or we could look at the number of pins that fall in a single roll. This procedure is important because it not only can prevent confusion and provide clarity in our own research, but it can help us better communicate to other people what we really mean by bowling skills. Our world is complex, and the variables that we might seek to measure are going to vary in complexity. Fortunately, variables can be placed in one of four categories or scales. We call these the levels of measurement. Let's look at the characteristics of each of these categories. Let's start with the nominal level. Here, variables are categorical, representing different categories or groups. Think of nominal data as labels without a built-in order, such as color, gender, or types of transportation. While we can categorize, it's important to note that at this level, mathematical operations like addition or subtraction aren't applicable. Because bus minus car really doesn't make any sense. Moving up the hierarchy, we encounter the ordinal level. Here, variables introduce order or rank among categories. Examples include education levels, survey responses, or even sports rankings. Although we can determine the order, keep in mind that the intervals between categories aren't consistent. For example, the difference between the first place and second place football teams would not necessarily be the same as the difference between the second and third place teams. This inconsistency makes mathematical operations beyond ordering limited. Next, we step into the interval level. This level includes things such as time of day, IQ scores, and temperature. Each of these have equal intervals between consecutive points, but there's no true 0 point. Consider temperature measured in Celsius and Fahrenheit. The difference between 20 and 30 degrees is the same as between 30 and 40 degrees. However, a temperature of 0 doesn't mean an absence of heat, it's just a point on the scale. Lastly, we reach the ratio level. This level includes a true 0 point, where 0 indicates the absence of the measured attribute. Examples include height, weight, or income. A height of 0 means no height, a weight of 0 means no weight, and an income of 0 probably means you have no money. With ratio data, we can perform all mathematical operations, making it the most versatile level of measurement. Understanding and choosing the right level of measurement is crucial in designing a study. Not only can these levels help us interpret what a particular value means or represents, but it determines the statistical tests you can apply and the conclusions you can draw. From nominal to ratio, each level builds on the previous one, offering more information and versatility in analysis. In summary, we learned that variables are things that vary and change, with at least two possible values. When we have a variable we want to study, we have to create a procedure by which we will measure it. This process is known as an operational definition. And finally, we learned that we can place all variables into 4 different categories or scales. And those are nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. You've reached the end of this video, but if you're still interested in learning more about variables or material related to other research methods topics, please check out my other videos, and thank you for watching.